Most people trying to lose weight are doing one thing wrong. They're eating less food. You don't need to eat less, you need to eat more. Not more calories, but more food. Which sounds wrong at first until you look at the data. Weight loss matters because it improves how your body functions, not because of how it looks. And once you understand that, the way you approach food starts to change. Because most people try to lose weight by cutting portions, eating less, and constantly fighting hunger. But that approach misses something much more important, which is how much energy you're consuming per bite of food. There's a concept in nutrition called energy density, and it simply refers to how many calories are packed into a given weight of food. Some foods are very energy dense, meaning a small amount contains a lot of calories, while others are the opposite. They take up a lot of space on your plate but contain relatively few calories. And this is where the data becomes useful. When researchers run controlled trials and give people meals that are lower in energy density, the result is surprisingly consistent. People tend to eat roughly the same amount of food by weight, but end up consuming significantly fewer calories, often around 200 to 300 fewer per day, without feeling any hungrier and without trying to restrict. And over time, that difference starts to add up. And this is the part most people miss. In longer-term interventions, this approach leads to meaningful weight loss over months, even when people are eating similar portions and not deliberately dieting. So why does this actually work? Your body doesn't track calories with precision. Instead, it responds to signals like volume, stomach stretch, and satiety. So when you build your meals around foods that are high in water and fiber, you can eat a large, satisfying plate of food, feel full, and still keep your overall energy intake relatively low. In practical terms, this usually means building most of your meals around lower energy dense foods, while still including more energy dense foods in appropriate amounts. For example, a full bowl of potatoes or vegetables will usually be far more filling for fewer calories, while foods like nuts, oils, and other healthy fats, although very nutritious, are much more calorie dense and much easier to overconsume without noticing. Some of the most calorie dense foods are also the easiest to overeat. On the other hand, oils, fried foods, and ultra-processed snacks can be eaten very quickly and don't provide the same level of satiety and make it very easy to consume a large amount of calories without even realizing it. So you end up with the same stomach, the same appetite, but a completely different outcome. If you take a step back, this also explains why many popular diets appear to work. It's not necessarily because there's anything special about them, but because they often reduce energy density as a side effect, whether that's through cutting processed foods, increasing whole foods, or simplifying food choices. If you strip it back to the underlying principle, this is one of the simplest and most sustainable strategies for fat loss. The goal isn't to eat less food, it's to consistently eat less energy per bite. And once you understand that, weight loss becomes much easier to manage without feeling like you're constantly restricting yourself. If you like to see videos just like this, click on that.